What's up, everybody? We're back. We're in week 5 now.
Starting week 5.
Starting week 5. We just had a big heated debate about some trades that just took place in the league, and we decided to hit record and get straight into it. Let's get all the dumb stuff out of the way. Got my first win last week. Bryce Young is still winless, in case Abbott's curious. I beat Bry 122-89. We're both 1-3 now. Tags fell short of Joey, 129-143. Joey's 3-1. Tags is 1-3. Mark breaks 100 for the first time this year. But it came up 15 points short in a loss to Jack, 120-105. You're both at 2-2 now. Abbott crushed Pat 147-85. Pat falls to a surprising 1-3. Abbott's to 3-1 now. He improved. Stu squeaks out a win 94-90 to sneak past Jeff. They both moved to 2-2. Kurt extends his flawless record by beating Palmer 101-83. Kurt is 4-0. Palmer's 2-2. Any surprises in the standings there?
Not much different than last week, I guess.
It's one game different, but we got Kurt.
Kurt's 4-0. Don't love his team, but
yeah.
he hasn't lost yet. I'm glad you got your first win. Team seems to be coming into shape.
And then Pat's 1-3. I think that's a surprise.
Yeah. I mean, he was ranked out of the top 12 or out of the top 6 to begin with, to begin the year. But everyone's still close. I see Kurt's team coming back to life. I see a lot of other coming back. I see a lot of other teams that have a chance still. So everyone's right there.
Yeah, no one's out of it yet. Do you want to go on trades or you want to go on the power rankings?
You lead the way. You want the rankings first?
Let's do the rankings. I was actually going to try to pre-do them to see how close I was with you, but we'll let you...
I'll run through them quick because you got a lot of trade stuff. There's a little mix-up. No mix-up at the top if you, not surprisingly. But number 12, any guesses?
Pat.
Oh, close. But actually, Timmy's top team, not top team. He was here to begin the year. He came out of the basement a little bit, lost last week, 1-3. He's going to have a tough way to go. Coming at number 11, we got Bry Guy.
Ooh. Bry
Guy's in a tough division right now. He only has one win. He's dealing with some injuries. He got a lot of room ahead of him. Still only 2 games back, but as we sit right now, he's in a tough division, 1 win, so he's 11. Coming in at number 10.
Me?
Batting lawn.
I would have put Pat there, but okay.
Got your first win.
This chair
jumped up a little bit.
Remarkably noisy.
Oh, you're the only one that sits on it, so just sit still.
I'm trying. I definitely can't sit still. I got a lot. I'm wired. I got my iced tea, vodka.
You made a lot of moves, but the team's looking good. It's coming into shape. Get AJ Brown healthy. Keep moving up. 9, you got Pat. He made a couple moves last week, but coming off another loss, correct? Yeah. Sitting at 1-3.
Pat was the crown holder last week. He is not anymore.
He's still only, in our division, he's 2 games back, so it's still right there, but 9th or 8 now. Jumping up to 8th is Dirty Sanchez. Stu, whose lineup I don't love, and, I thought we might see him kind of...
Did he start Trey McBride last week with Trey McBride being out?
He won. So I don't know.
I don't know what he did. I think Palmer and I were talking about that. He has 105 left and started an injured tight end.
Yeah, I'm not sure who he started. I know he somehow got the victory. Moves him to 2-2, kind of right in the middle of the pack there. So don't love his lineup, but has 2 wins. Bless you.
Thank you. It's down here, man. It's the dogs.
Bless you.
Skunk?
Maybe it's a skunk.
Yeah.
So that's where Stu's at. Coming in at number 7, we have Jeff in the hodgepodge of nothingness.
He fell a bit.
He fell. These actually, so bless you. Disclaimer, these power rankings were made Tuesday morning.
Oh, wow.
So
a lot of things happened since then.
The rankings were actually made before moves were made because, like I said, I like Jeff's lineup for the whole year. He's dealing with some adversity. He has a ton of injuries. He's coming off a loss. That's why I dropped him out. He's in a pretty tough division right now. He has made some moves. I don't think those moves would have bumped him up yet, considering he's at 2-2 and sitting out of the playoffs in his division. But I do see more room for improvement for him now than I did on Tuesday morning when I made these. Coming in at number 6. Any guesses?
Palmer.
You know my rankings.
I wanted to pre-do them, but I'm doing them on the fly now.
Yeah, coming in number 6 is the Crumb Snatchers. They're coming off a loss last week. Still sitting at 2-2, right, leading their division or tied for the lead in their division. And Tim's been fighting right around this spot the whole time. We'll see what happens with him. Got a good game out of Michael Pittman though. Was it the Steelers defense or was it Michael Pittman? Who knows?
Well.
Maybe Joe Flacco is what he needed. Coming in at number 5 and also from the JV division, return doubtful.
Not who I thought it was. I actually spelled your name with a K that time, so I got a reason anyway.
Yeah, we got Jack coming in 5th. Actually, the surprising thing about Jack's team, and the surprising thing to me about fantasy is Alvin Kamara, I think, is the number 1 player.
He was number 1, yeah.
After last year, I didn't expect that to have that resurgence. Jack has him and Justin Jefferson, so I think they'll continue to carry him. Although Travis Etienne, he doesn't seem to be living up to the hype that he was supposed to have.
He's something. I don't know if he's hurt, but he's not doing well at all.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Dropping again for the second straight week at number 4.
Barely dropping, but good.
The Steam Buns, again, tied for the lead in the division. So, if the playoffs started today, would be in the playoffs. The biggest question mark for me is the receivers. Had a good week out of Amari Cooper 2 weeks ago on the bench. Made a move at the end of last week to kind of strengthen, running back and maybe a third receiver. It seems like the receivers traded were actually better than the ones that got back. But nonetheless, finally broke 100 points. Potential there, but now Jonathan Taylor's hurt, so we'll see where it goes.
Do you remember Cooper dropping that 80-yard bomb touchdown? It went right. Just went right through his hands.
Last week?
I think it was last week.
I didn't see that one, but he did have an 80-yard touchdown called back last week.
So maybe that's what it was. He dropped that, and then the one that... they're both 2 big touchdowns. If the one doesn't get called back, and he had it like this, and it went straight through. If those both go for touchdowns, Deshaun Watson and Amari Cooper are both in the top 12. They're both QB1 and wide receiver 1, but they didn't.
Well,
but it's 2 plays away.
Let's hope he hits it next week then, because right now my receivers, I think I'm slowly drifting into the category that Tags is in with Garrett Wilson, that he is a big bust.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 3, and again, these were made on Tuesday, is Joey.
Ooh.
Boner and Sweatpants. Joe, I like his lineup. I think he has, pretty solid lineup all around. Dealing with some injuries now with Devontae Adams and Malik Neighbors out. Made a trade this week. I think thinned his bench out a lot, which I really liked about his team.
At least he has a lot of depth at quarterback.
I thought he was very deep before. I don't think he's as deep now, but still good all around. Biggest surprise for me with him is Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed's been playing really well when Jordan Love, has been in the game. I don't know if that's going to stay around or if it's just kind of a one-hit wonder thing, because it seems like they like to spread the ball around in Green Bay. But if Jaden Reed is the number 1 there, I think that was a great pick by Joe. Coming in at number 2
Abbott.
is SA Quarantine. Yes. Abbott, I think Abbott's team is just solid all around. I think
really, really good running back core.
The best running back core with Henry and Barkley. Henry looks great now. Barkley's looked good all year. I think he's very good with David Montgomery and deep. And Tony Pollard is your number 4.
Yeah.
I think it's good. Receiving core, Diggs, Godwin, and Ayuk. Ayuk's really been the only one who hasn't done much of anything. So you would expect him to get better. Other than that, Jared Goff's been playing great. Detroit's offense looks like one of the best offenses in the league. So it's hard to, other than tight end, really there's no good tight ends in the league.
Tight end.
It's hard to find real weakness there because he has solid starting lineup, deep bench, good all-around team. And then number 1, we have no changes at top, the Army and North. Somehow Kurt, continues to do it. C.D. Lamb, Josh Allen, Jordan Mason are carrying the team. Terry McLaurin's playing better with Jaden Daniels. Other than that, I see some holes in the bench. He has Cooper Kupp there, maybe waiting to come back. But he's continuing to win, so stays atop the rankings.
So last week, the average points for was 109.4. That's the exact average it was in week 1. Week 1 was 109.4. Week 4 was 109.4. And then Abbott had high score of the week, and he won the crown off Pat. So Abbott had a huge week, and he's number 2 in your power rankings. I don't know what the best thing there is, probably the power rankings. Abbott scored 147.4. That's his second high score of the year, and Joey has 2. Abbott has 2. So they're both going back and forth a bit. I don't know how much longer I'm going to do this. Oh, okay. Picks. I went 4-2 to improve my record to 15-9. You went 2-4 to improve your record to 10-14. I'm 5 games up. I'm not sure how much longer I'm doing this, but Richardson had 4 points. He got hurt 5th play of the game or whatever, came back, and they immediately ran him and got him hurt again. I'm not sure why you do that unless you wanted him out. Garrett Wilson got 6 points. Olave got 12. London got 9. I didn't have...
There's one more, right?
I don't have, what's his name in there?
George Pickens?
In there and didn't save. He had a good week, though, didn't he?
Yeah, I want to say, I looked at between all of them, there's 8 points separating them.
Yeah, but that's not even. Like, I think we can...
It's one game.
I think we can write up Garrett Wilson as a bust. Olave is whatever. He's very okay. London's okay. I think with a better quarterback situation, they would all improve except Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson called out Aaron Rodgers the other day.
I did not.
He said the offense isn't opened up enough, and they thought he was talking about Hackett, but Hackett was there last year, and Hackett pretty much went on the record saying, "I call the plays, they get changed in the huddle, and there's one guy that runs the offense."
I don't know if you can call Wilson a bust and the other ones though, because like I said, they're within right now. Wilson has 35 points. I think London leads that.
But I think Wilson got drafted way earlier than all the others.
42. So, if the next 2 weeks these numbers could flip, big time.
Sure, it could.
8 points is after 5 weeks. What I think is they all are overrated.
Yeah. And the fact that Jefferson, Neighbors, Chase, all these other rookie receivers come in and blow up, and then these guys 4 years now, three years now, and they're still not.
Yeah, actually, you know who's in the top.
Neighbors was number 2.
Well, I don't know why it's not filtering. There we go. But who's actually moved up pretty quick was Deontay Johnson's moving up.
Boy, he has a legit quarterback. He gets like 15 targets a game, so it's kind of hard not to catch passes, even for him. And you know how hard it is for him to catch passes. So, what do you think about going into trades? Because I feel that this will be the highlight of the show.
I'm sure. I made a trade last week after.
You made a trade last week. It was Friday. It was after our show, and it got totally washed off the board after the trade that happened the other day.
Yeah.
But you got Jerome Ford.
I got Jerome Ford and Jalen Waddle.
Yeah, which...
I'm happy.
If Tua's out the year, you can cut Waddle.
If Tua's out the year, yeah, he's pretty much useless.
I'd rather have Olave. And
if Tua comes back maybe in 3 or 4 weeks, which he could be, then I'm taking a flyer on Waddle.
Who'd you give away?
Jameson Williams and Rashid Shaheed.
Shaheed's boom or bust. If he doesn't catch that one bomb, he doesn't do much.
Shaheed had about 13 points last week, which was pretty similar. I think Ford had 12. Those two offset. Jameson Williams scored the most. He had, I believe, 18 points. The only thing, he had 2 catches. One of them was for 60 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah, I like.
So takeaway, I like them, but with those two, you're gonna get the same thing. It's boom or bust.
It's a similar thing. But I like Detroit's offense much more.
Yeah.
As good as New Orleans is, I think they're kind of fake.
I'm fine, but I guess I'm kind of banking on if Tua does come back, Jalen Waddle turns into the receiver that he was,
Till he
that got
gets
him
hurt.
drafted in the 4th round or whatever.
He typically gets hurt a lot too, so hopefully he gets hurt while Tua is hurt, and then he can come back afterward. So the big trade, Joey traded Keenan Allen and Brian Thomas Jr. for a quarterback, Jordan Love. What is your initial thought?
I think he overpaid for him.
Yeah, I think.
What is your thoughts? You might have more thoughts. I want to hear yours.
My thought is quarterbacks are stupid in fantasy.
Okay.
If you don't get the top elite running quarterback, it doesn't really matter. And I will tell you, I have numbers backing that up. But so Jordan Love has played in 2 games so far. Well, 2 games, just about 2 games. 6 TDs, 4 interceptions. He averages 26.3 points. Keenan Allen played in 2 games. He averages 4 points. But honestly, Keenan Allen, you can throw Keenan Allen away. You can cut him. I don't think Keenan Allen's a player. Brian Thomas versus Jordan Love is how I'm looking at this. In fact, I think the trade should have been Brian Thomas for Jordan Love plus Keenan Allen if it was the other way. I don't think Joey should have overpaid with Allen to get a quarterback. Brian Thomas Jr. is wide receiver 16. He's averaging 12 points, but his arrow to me is sky high. His schedule opens up. That Jacksonville offense, they're 0-4, so they have to. I mean, that's as bad as they can be, and he's still putting up a ton of points. The real big issue I have with this trade is the timing. Adams is out. Devontae Adams is out. Malik Neighbors is out. Who's he playing right now? Oh, I'm sorry. Amon-Ra St. Brown is on a bye.
Yes.
So who's his starting receiver?
Jacoby Myers.
I would rather have Brian Thomas than Jacoby Myers. Love isn't even practicing because he was out for the year 2 weeks ago, and he's back with a knee injury. And even if he can throw, which is fine, he's not going to run at all with his knee the way it is. Adams is going to be traded. So if Adams gets traded, the worst case scenario for Joey, Adams gets traded to the Jets, and Rodgers becomes a legitimate starting quarterback again. The Jets could have a much better receiving core in a week, and Green Bay is battling injuries on the receiving core, so Love could have a worse receiving core. And just because it's a quarterback, let me tell you the top 12 quarterbacks and how they were acquired. Lamar Jackson is number 1. Like I said, an elite running quarterback. He was drafted 36th overall. Sam Darnold is number 2. He was acquired for $6. Baker Mayfield, number 3, drafted 166th. Jaden Daniels, rookie, also on the team that Jordan Love was on, so you should have had a discount there. Drafted 101st. Josh Allen, many would say should have been QB1. He was drafted 52 overall. Dak, drafted 71 overall. Burrow, drafted 72 overall by Pat, which is important. Kyler, number 8, drafted 73 overall by Pat. So if you wanted to get something, you could have told Jeff, hey, I'm going back and forth with Pat too. And that scares him into lowering the price a little. You got to play the game a little bit. Fields is number 9. He's had one good game, and Fields is number 9. He got added today for $3. Jalen Hurts, drafted 39 by me. Fields by me. Number 11, Geno Smith, added today for $11 by me. Strictly to prove a point that you do not need to trade assets for a middle-of-the-road, top 6 maybe, quarterback. Maybe he wants to improve over Aaron Rodgers. No problem. Guess what? Derek Carr was added for $36 last week, dropped today. He's on the waiver wire, could probably be had for $1.
Who dropped him?
Tagmar, because he got Darnold.
Yeah.
So he got the number 2 overall quarterback and the number 12 from the waiver wire. I got the number 11 and 12, the 9 and 12 from the waiver wire. Number 2 from the waiver wire. It's not quarterbacks, and this stung me last year with Trevor Lawrence sticking with him too long, but it's not quarterbacks aren't a big deal. Patrick Mahomes is an awful fantasy quarterback. I know Jalen Hurts is number 10. song and dance. He had 0 receivers last week. He hasn't had A.J. Brown since week 1. You know, Burrow's number 7. He hasn't had T. Higgins healthy all year. Chase didn't practice, so he'll move up. I think the timing's awful. Jeff has Tyreek. His bench is Puka Nacua on the IR, Calvin Ridley on a bye, Rashid Rice on the IR. He picked up Trey Turner today. He might have dropped Love today to pick up a receiver. Maybe Joey waits till next week when he has Amon-Ra back, when Adams is a little more clear, when Neighbors isn't concussed. I don't know why Joey pushed it. I think he should have waited. It would have drove the price down. Maybe text Pat. You get Kyler out of it, you know. I think it's the trade itself, the player for player. I'd prefer Brian Robinson. I think the timing is worse than the trade itself. I really do. Is there anything I'm speaking ill about? Is that
No,
wrong?
I agree. I think it was. If I was to pick a winner of the trade, clearly I'd pick Jeff.
Yeah.
I think he clearly won that trade. Like you said, it's hard trading for a quarterback or trading one away because a lot of times the person who's going to, they either have an injured quarterback or it's just going as a backup. So those are usually 1-to-1,
Yeah.
depending. And then with this deal, being in the same division and actually having being one game separating each other.
Yeah.
I think if Jeff doesn't make that deal, his team. I don't
Jeff's
know if his
2-2.
I don't know with all the injuries. I
With
don't
all
know if
the
he
injuries,
can come back.
Yeah.
This I think gives him enough opportunity to kind of stay afloat for the next 3 or 4 weeks to maybe get Brooks in the lineup or get Nacua back.
If Tua comes back, he has an excellent receiving core.
Yeah.
And
So
and Jordan Love is not playing better. He fantasy-wise did great this weekend, but he threw 3 picks in that game.
and the thing is, Jordan Love would never leave his bench because I think he has to play Jaden Daniels.
There's no question. With the shortened benches, I would assume he would get cut after. If I'm Jeff, Daniels' bye week's over. I'm playing Love 1 week and then he's gone.
And so I Love's played good. Joey's taking a bet on him, I guess. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But I think he gave up too much because I don't think anyone else even gives up nearly as much and puts Jeff in a bad spot, but he did. So
I know
to each their own.
I personally know 5 people he offered a trade for Jordan Love with. To me, that says I'm desperate. I'm going to cut Love, but I need a receiver back. I'm going to try to trade him before I cut him. It's a classic move. You know, but I don't know how Joey justifies this move one bit. Especially the fact you don't know when Adams is going to play. Adams might not play for a month. The trade deadline is until November 5th.
Well, you better hope Malik Neighbors isn't hurt for a while either.
He's concussed, and that's who knows what that time frame is. Whatever. I think it's a misstep on Joey's part. He had the chance to get rid because I would assume from that division, Kurt's 4-0. I think it's a safe bet that he's probably going to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
Abbott is 3-1, I believe.
Yeah, he's
but he
3-1.
Has
He's
a fantastic team, and Joey just scored the 2 weekly high scores. Why make keep the team the same? He's not. He won't break 100 this week now.
Yeah, I mean
he probably will because it's still 100's not that hard to do, but
that depends.
Sure. I don't know who. I mean, well, no receiver. He doesn't have a receiver, so he might not break 100. I don't know. I play Kurt this week. Kurt's 4-0. His total projection is 112 to 106 for me. I don't like Javonte Williams.
I don't either.
I think CeeDee Lamb is really good, but who knows how Dallas plays terrible on the road. And the only thing is their defense is absolutely crippled right now. They lost their top 4 starters on defense. So I'm assuming the Steelers will, if they actually play offense and not just run Najee 70 times, they should put up points. So hopefully Dallas has to throw to stay in it. CD should do well. Zay Flowers, again, that's another, not boom or bust. That's a average or nothing game. Everybody on the Baltimore offense except
Henry and Lamar.
The running game. Yeah. Henry, Lamar, and Justice Hill. I would take Justice Hill over Zay Flowers right now, I think. Terry McLaurin, he had a decent week last week. So Sam Laporta's on a bye. He doesn't have a tight end. I don't know if he drops Caleb Williams or I don't know. Eckler might be back this week. I don't know. So he doesn't have a tight end right now. My side, Justin Fields versus Dallas. We'll see if he can put two together. Chuba versus Chicago, I like. Roshan Johnson. Swift was supposed to be done, and then he blew up last week, so who knows what happens there. Nico's a superstar, my favorite player ever now. Deontay Johnson is getting a ton of targets. T. Higgins versus Baltimore, I think, is really good. The big question mark is Andrews. I'm going to take myself, so I always do, but I don't take that in confidence.
Nah, I think I'm going to take you as well. I mean, looking at the two lineups, looking at the lineups, he's 4-0, and you just got your first win, and yet, I mean, there's nothing like. He's starting Javonte Williams, you're starting Roshan Johnson. I don't really think either one of them should be an RB2.
No.
Unless you have to, you have Nico and Deontay. I'd rather have Nico and Deontay than CD and Zay. Laporta's on bye. Mark Andrews is underperforming. McLaurin and Higgins are close. Even Justin Fields has been playing well from a fantasy perspective. So, I mean, I think it's close. I'm going with you, but, just how close the lineups are, that this is a 1-win team against a 4-win team, and, neither one really blows me out of the water.
No, I agree. It's bye weeks are going to start messing with everybody. Next one is Joey, 3-1, boner and sweatpants versus return doubtful, Jack 2-2. This is a huge game for Joey, I think. He has the superstar, talented, greatest QB ever, Jordan Love, versus the Rams. Kyron versus Green Bay. Is Green Bay still tough to run on? They used to be. I'm not sure if they still are or not.
I don't know.
I don't know if Cleveland's still tough to run on by Brian Robinson. Jalen Reed's really good. Jaden Reed's really good. So he has, Kyron, Green Bay. So he has Kyron and Green Bay playing it. Jacoby Myers versus Denver. I would bench him. Denver is the best team against the pass right now. Patrick Surtain is on a historic streak of totally wiping the number one receiver off the map. Not sure Jacoby Myers is the number one. Probably is now with Vegas, so we'll see. Kincaid, Houston, Braylon Allen versus Minnesota. Minnesota's got a really good defense too. Jets defense versus Minnesota offense. Minnesota got a really good offense. We'll see how that works out. On Jack's side, Brock Purdy versus Arizona. That's nothing. ETN versus Indy. We were just talking about how ETN isn't looking great, but I think the Indy defense, they were beat up last week and they stopped Najee, but Patterson looked pretty good against them. I'm going to sneeze again. Kamara.
Bless you.
Now you got me. Kamara versus Green Bay. I'm sorry, Kamara versus KC. I think if he's going to be in the passing game, that's going to be huge for him because, I don't know that KC is going to continue to be able to lose guys and continue to keep scoring the way they are. Jefferson versus Jets. I'm curious if Sauce can shut down Jefferson. Pickens versus Dallas. I think Pickens should have a pretty good game. Bland's not Bland. Is that his name or Band? Mm-hmm. He's not playing. Ferguson versus Pittsburgh. They don't watch tight ends. He should be good. Cortland Sutton has had a really good year, and he caught a touchdown last week, and he ran it over to Bo Nix and gave him the ball. It was Bo Nix's first touchdown. Cortland Sutton's having a good year for Denver. Yes. He's having the same year he had last year with, Russ. I'm going to take Jack because I really want to see Joey lose now based on his quarterback and receiving core.
I'm following you. I'm taking Jack as well. Just, again, looking at the lineups right now with everything that Joey has on his bench, I think Braylon Allen, Jacoby Myers in the starting lineup, I don't love it. As long as everyone's healthy for Jack, ATN and Kamara are both questionable. I'm assuming they'll play. But I pretty much like Jack at every position. Even Jake Ferguson against Dalton Kincaid, I think, is a toss-up. But with Brandon Cooks out, maybe Ferguson gets a few more targets. I'm going Jack.
Excellent. Next game, SA Quarantine. Abbott's playing Tags. Abbott's 3-1. Tags is 1-3. I'm looking right now. Abbott does not have a quarterback. Barkley's on a bye. Montgomery's on a bye. Pollard's on a bye. Jared Goff's on a bye. Tua is out. Isaiah Likely doesn't play quarterback. He has Derrick Henry and Justice Hill. Stephon Diggs, Godwin, Freiermuth, Ayuk. Dallas defense versus Steelers. I'm not even reading Tagmar's team. Abbott lost this game. This is, I think, fortunately for him, he doesn't have bye week concerns after this week. He might have a receiver here and there, but he has every player of note is on a bye right now.
Here's my disclaimer: he can drop Tua. I think.
I would
pick
think
up a quarterback because I don't think anybody's going after.
Maybe Joey can trade Love.
Well, yeah. I mean,
and listen, do you think Henry and Barkley get him Love? I have 3 quarterbacks in the top 10. I'm going to offer.
He might have to maybe toss David Montgomery in, maybe, but I drop Tua, pick up a quarterback. He's going to start 2 Baltimore running backs, which I don't love, but you know what? I'm picking Abbott as long as he has a quarterback.
Pollard's 19, Montgomery is 8, so I'll go for Pollard. Let's try to trade Pollard. Let's try to trade Pollard for Fields. Who you take? I'm sorry, who you taking?
I'm taking Abbott as long as he starts a quarterback.
He might just say screw it.
If he says screw it and doesn't start a quarterback, my pick flips. As long as he starts a real quarterback.
So Tags has 1 win. I tell you what I do. If I'm Tags, I bid on the top 2 quarterbacks or whatever to keep. I've done that before to keep that slot empty because there's only.
If I'm Abbott, I go pick up Derek Carr now just because Tags bid $36 on him last week.
That's fantastic. So you have Daniel Jones, Watson, Lawrence. He already rejected it.
I don't blame him.
No, me neither, obviously. You're taking Abbott. Why don't you run the next game? It's your game. Ooh, big game. Look at you. Pat versus you.
Oh, the battle of the brothers. Grants Union Army against Esteemed Funds. The biggest question mark for me right now, Jonathan Taylor. I don't think he's going to play after listening to him. Actually, there's a bunch of questionable. Taylor's questionable, Kittle's questionable, Hunt's questionable. Taylor, I don't think is going to play. Kittle, it sounds like he's a go. I don't know what's up with Hunt. He's been fine all week until this. Even without Taylor, I like my lineup. This is the week that Garrett Wilson blows up. I've said it for the last 3 weeks. Eventually, it's going to have to come true. Oates' lineup's tough, man. A-Chain and Bruce Irving, or Bucky Irving, whatever it is.
You are projected. He rejected both my trades.
I'm projected to lose.
99 points.
Yeah, that's projections are. That's Taylor's 0. So I guess he's projected out.
Yeah,
he's out now. Tank Dell is Tank Dell playing this week for?
I'm not sure that he. Maybe, but I don't know. Probably not.
I mean, the lineup he has in is rough. Drake London, Tank Dell, Tyler Kraft, Rashid Shaheed. Tell that dickhead he can have 3 QBs on his roster. I think that was directed to you.
I don't know why he's talking to you about our trades. I mean, it seems like it's you don't usually talk trades.
I'm going me.
I'm going you also based on Lamar, Burrow, Baltimore, A.J. Bucky Irving, Tampa Bay running back. Huh? Yeah, I'm taking you also. I think you beat Pat this week.
I am the best still fantasy football player.
Male still.
No, still. Mm-hmm. There's no gender needs to be specified.
Okay, Jeff, 2-2 versus Bry, 1-3. Jeff's projected to lose by a point. He's starting Jaden Daniels, Rashid White, Kenneth Walker, who had a monster game the other day, Tyreek Hill, who's playing New England, Brian Thomas versus Indy, so that should be a good game. Points there. Kyle Pitts, terrible, unstartable. Trey Tucker, yikes. On the other side, Baker, Bijan, Swift, Olave, Addison, Kelsey, Singletary. Steelers versus Dallas. I'm taking Bry. Bijan's underachieving. Baker's overachieving. Swift is so up and down. Olave, we talk about every week. Addison has been really good, and if Jefferson has sauce on him, I guess Addison might be 9:30 a.m. That's terrible.
They're in London.
Kelsey is a nothing. Is Singletary not playing, I heard? You know what? Looking at it now, I might. Well, although there's nobody on his bench either. I'm taking Bry. I don't love it. This is a lot of weird matchups this week with bye weeks and all these injuries and
Uh, this is another close one. I see. I don't hate Jeff's lineup. Other than I don't love Trey Tucker. Other than that, the rest of his lineup I don't mind. Bry guy. Mm, if Singletary's out, I don't love Singletary. I don't love Addison. I don't even love Swift at this point. Although he did, he played really well. Uh, it's close. Give me Jeff.
you got Jeff. Last one on the slate is Palmer, 2-2 versus Stu, 2-2. Stu's projected 97, so you beat him in the projections. Palmer's projected 115. Dak versus Steelers. Brees Hall has been a major disappointment, I think. Was he second or third overall, or third or fourth overall?
I agree.
Aaron Jones has been a pleasant surprise. Michael Pittman, who I don't think does anything this week as compared to last week. Seems like Evan Ingram's back. James Cook could be in for a big game. He was when he played me. Debo versus Arizona. I think they want to get Debo going since Ayuk's, you can't count on him for anything. The other side, Mahomes versus New Orleans. I don't love Ramondre. He fumbled. They're talking about benching him. Tyler Algier, the backup. Jamar Chase versus Baltimore is good. Evans is good. McBride's back. Brock Bowers. He has 2 tight ends this week. He doesn't have anyone else to flex. Mixon out Kirk. You think you start Kirk over one of those tight ends?
I don't. I actually like Brock Bowers. I think he had a bad week last week, but before that, the last 2 weeks he hasn't done much.
Yeah, I was going to say McBride's back against San Fran. Bowers is back against Denver. They're both tough matchups. Good linebackers there. Christian Kirk versus Indy. DeAndre Hopkins on a bye. Russell Wilson. Curtis. Is he going to drop Russell Wilson ever? Do you think he's droppable at this point?
I wouldn't. He's going to come back.
Trim to Abbott.
I think
they move Fields to receiver.
I think obviously the NFL is scripted and fixed. Justin Fields gets hurt either this week or next week, so Wilson can come in because he's getting healthy, and then Wilson blows up.
Sounds great.
Then Wilson gets hurt in the playoffs, and Fields is the one who leads us to the Super Bowl.
I'm taking Palmer.
I'm taking Palmer as well.
I think there's a better chance.
Did Palmer win the Super Bowl?
Did Joey make some good trades and the Steelers win the Super Bowl? Or Abbott accepts. There's a better chance Abbott accepts one of my trades. So anything else to talk about? This is so stuffy. I don't know if it's stuffy or like.
Is it always like it, Tony?
No, it's just such an allergic reaction. They don't know if it's the dogs or the weather or what, but it's like I can't breathe. My eyes are watering. My nose is watering. I'm trying to pound through this as fast as I can now.
I'm good.
Well, good for you. I'm happy. How'd you like that Baker show? What's it called? Undercover?
Undercover. It was good.
Yeah.
Baker. I like Baker.
I do too. I think Cleveland made a huge mistake.
Well, I think we can agree on that.
Cleveland makes a lot of mistakes. That's why they're
mistake by the lake.
That's why they're again, still extending and pushing money out on Watson. I heard why they did it today.
So they can cut him, maybe.
They can't cut him now because they did some kind of some kind of conversion that freed up $40 million this year, and then they turned that into a big bonus for Cooper that brings his price all the way down.
But I thought they also added a clause for...
They did add a clause that if he gets in trouble again, they can cut him without any...
financial repercussions.
Without any dead cap. But they were talking about that they see the writing on the wall that them underachieving another year, they're going to all be fired. So they're trying to push it out as far as they can, make the team good, and it'll be someone else's problem if they get fired. So that's the business of the NFL, I guess.
Smart.
Sure. I'm dying, so I have to get out of here. Anything else?
That's it.
See you next week. Good luck to everyone except Joey.
Adios.